Hey there, friends and enemies, JoPa here again, and today I wanted to talk about the rumors surrounding a potential Titanfall 3 that have been rampant in the community lately, and everyone is kind of speculating on what we're going to get. I don't know if necessarily we're going to get a Titanfall 3, but I do believe we are going to get more Titanfall content sooner rather than later. So let me jump into everything we've seen so far, all the recent rumors, teases, and all that kind of good stuff, as well as what we know about what Respawn itself has said about Titanfall 3. So first off, we did get an update for Titanfall 2 out of nowhere. It's been years since we've gotten a real update for the game, but they fixed some of the server issues, fixed some of the DDoS issues, and the hacker issues recently. Not every one of the servers is fully fixed yet, but if you switch your data center, I know a lot of people have come back to the game, have been finding games, they've been smooth, they've been running well, which is rather surprising, like I said, after so long of the game not getting any update at all. Not only that, but we also got a brand new game mode in Titanfall 2 for the first time in years. So all of that is rather surprising for most people because the game has been kind of dead and forgotten for quite some time. On top of that, in the Apex Legends patch notes, we've also been getting Titanfall teasers. So obviously the Apex Legends game takes place within the Titanfall universe, and they've always thrown in little hints and Easter eggs for Titanfall in that game. But recently it's been more than ever. We've seen a lot more of those little teases and hints at Titanfall, which is pretty interesting, coinciding with the new game mode and the server updates. All of that to say that Titanfall is kind of back in the forefront of Respawn's kind of thinking. Also, on top of that, we have Vincent Pella, who the head of Respawn, who has also talked about how Titanfall deserves more love, it deserves more content and all that kind of good stuff. And that is leading people to think that Titanfall 3 is definitively happening. Now, we've seen in the past that Respawn has launched games pretty under the radar. We saw it with Apex Legends, where they launched that game out of nowhere, in contrast to Titanfall 2, which had a much bigger release, but was between COD and Battlefield and pretty much didn't do as well as anybody hoped it would, even though it's now a cult classic. Everybody loves the game looking back on it, but it just didn't perform as well as people would have hoped originally. And so now I wonder if they're going to do a full-blown Titanfall 3, in which case we would see it teased, I would imagine, on the next anniversary of Titanfall 2, where they kind of showcase the game and it's coming out maybe a year or two from now. Or another option would be a standalone Titanfall multiplayer game that they stealth launch in a similar way that we saw Apex Legends. That's more likely what I think is going to happen. With that being successful, then we would see another Titanfall, maybe a Titanfall 3 that's more PvE campaign based. But as far as I'm aware, there's really no indication that they're going to do a full-blown Titanfall 3 when they could do just a strictly multiplayer game. Maybe it's free to play, maybe they launch it in a similar way that they launched Apex Legends, and now would be a great time to do so. There's not really a game that's dominating the multiplayer market. Yes, we have another COD coming out, but if they were to get ahead of COD or even launch this maybe 6 months from now when COD's lifespan is kind of faded a little bit, I think it would be a great idea to stealth launch a multiplayer game like Titanfall, which a lot of people have been really clamoring for, a game with that kind of movement, that kind of versatility in the multiplayer. So I think something like that is not out of the realm of possibility. If we see a full-blown Titanfall 3, based on what we've heard as far as rumors and everything like that, I just can't see that launching for another year or so. I would imagine that would be next fall 2024, and in which case maybe we've got other multiplayer games that are dropping that are going to compete with. But even so, I think the game would receive enough hype that a lot of people would be interested. So the two options that I see going forward is, one, a stealth launch of a multiplayer game in the that's a Titanfall multiplayer game, strictly PvP, maybe some PvE aspects, but not really a campaign, and that would be a free-to-play title. Or if we see a full-blown Titanfall 3 that is a fully paid AAA game, that one would be launching not for another year or so, and that is just my speculation on it. I do hope we get more Titanfall, and I wouldn't be surprised if we get more Titanfall sooner rather than later. Whether it's a another option, which could be a Titanfall 2 revamp, where they completely overhaul Titanfall 2, the multiplayer, and we see them try to do a resurgence like we're seeing with the brand new CSGO update, and they try to bring people back in that way. So that's another option. They could do new game modes, they could do updated graphics, they could do a revamp in that way, and that would be a success as well. I think that would hold people over until we did get a Titanfall 3, but I think that would be more of a short-term band-aid solution and not a long-term success story like a brand new multiplayer or Titanfall 3 game would be. So overall, I'm very excited. I know there's some unlisted videos on the Titanfall YouTube page as well that's hinting at maybe some videos, some throwbacks, all of that kind of good stuff. I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but I'm really excited for the future of the Titanfall franchise. I think we've been seeing Apex around for long enough that the game has gotten a little bit stale, and regardless of what they do in the actual Apex Legends game, it's not going to recapture the magic of the first year or two. So now is the perfect time for Respawn to pivot into Titanfall content, give Apex a bit of a break maybe, and then revamp that game for more of an Apex 2.0 or a brand new game mode within Apex that's going to revolutionize BR multiplayer type stuff. So I think there's a lot of different options that we can see with Apex/Titanfall, but I hope that we get some more specific Titanfall content, and it isn't just like Apex Legends with Titanfall stuff in it. You know what I'm saying? We've tried just standard multiplayer with the control in Apex Legends, and it really hasn't hit in the same way that a true Titanfall multiplayer would. So for that reason, I would rather see them actually go and lean into some actual standalone Titanfall content instead of some kind of hybrid with Apex Legends. So that's just a personal preference of mine, but overall, I'm excited either way. I think there's a lot of potential for Titanfall 3 to be a massive success if they do lean into it and have multiplayer, have ranked, have a campaign, have some PvE. If they can get all of that together, Titanfall 3 would be a success. But I also think that if they wanted to do just a Titanfall standalone PvP version, I think that could also be a massive hit right now with a lot of people looking for that type of gameplay. Anyway, I'd love to hear what you guys think. In the comments down below, let me know. My name is Jopa. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. If you want to see more Titanfall content on this channel going forward, definitely like, subscribe, and all that kind of good stuff. It definitely would mean the world to me. I do appreciate each and every one of you. My name is Jopa. I hope you have a good one, and I'll catch you all later.